Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for those who are watching this class live around the world at the moment. My name is Alex, and I am here as part of the Swoosh English team in order to provide practice with the OET speaking today, the role play task, and also to provide feedback on that speaking too. I'll also be looking at the criteria for speaking. So this is a great opportunity to learn a bit more about how the speaking test is graded and also to get feedback on your speaking as well, to show areas of strength and weakness in those criteria as you prepare to take your OET exam, or as you look into the future and decide whether you think that this is the right time to go forward and take the exam, or maybe you want to give yourself a little bit more time to do some more practice and get some more experience. So this is what this session is designed for, to learn more about the speaking exam and also to get some practice and feedback. In terms of feedback, I encourage all of those who are watching the class to contribute as well on areas of strength and weakness. Even if you're not doing an OET practice test today, there is still the great opportunity to learn from having seen other students doing the test, and if you give feedback to those students as well, they'll benefit from it. So I hope this class will be extremely interactive. And in that vein, I just want to say hello to Adajit, who's joining us today live in the class, and MD Chajul as well from Bangladesh. If you are watching this class live, please leave a comment in the comment box to say your name and where you're watching from at the moment. So welcome to all of those who are currently watching live. We are broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm looking forward to seeing your comments and your feedback once we get going with some practice. So let's just see who else is in the class at the moment. I can see that Asma is in the class, as is Mohammed, and Mahesh from India. Burak is here as well. Yes, this is live, Burak. We are live right now. And also Alice as well is in the class, and Ahmed. So welcome to all of you. Also, I can see Christian, Dorothy, Harris are all in the class. Dorothy from Algeria, and Christian is watching from the Philippines. And Harris is watching from Pakistan. So from all over the world, we have people who are watching this class live, which is wonderful to see. Okay, so let's have a look then at some of the focus that we are going to provide in today's class. I'm just going to bring up now some of the materials that we are going to be looking at and what the aims are going to be for our session today. Okay, so what we are going to be focusing on today is learning and reviewing the scoring for OET speaking. There's going to be the opportunity to participate in OET role plays, and I'll be sharing the invitation code for that in just a moment. And you will also have the opportunity to listen to feedback on student performance and provide your own feedback as well. So I do encourage that, as I say, so we can all learn from each other's observations and feedback. Finally, as well, there will be a Q&A at the end if there are any questions on the topics that we've looked at in this class. Okay, so I do want to make you aware of the free OET masterclass, which you have the opportunity of joining and getting involved with as from today. If you join this masterclass, you'll have the opportunity to get access to expert tips, methods, and advice to pass your OET exam as quickly as possible. And you can find out more about this and sign up for this masterclass by clicking on the link, which I'm going to share in the chat box. So I'm just going to share that now. So if that is something which you have not already taken advantage of, then please do. If you have any issues with this, then make sure that you contact support@swooshenglish.com, and they will be able to provide guidance with this. So there we are, sharing that now in our live Facebook and OET groups, so that you will have the opportunity to take advantage of this offer that we are providing. Okay, so the criteria, that's what we want to look at. If we're going to be successful in speaking, we need to know what it is that we have to be doing well in order to achieve success. And there are two sets of criteria in the OET speaking exam. The first set of criteria are the linguistic criteria. And we can see here there are 4 of them, and they focus on your ability to communicate in a manner which is understandable, your use of grammar and vocabulary, and also your fluency. And the final area which is involved in linguistic criteria is the appropriateness of your language. So this is using an appropriate using appropriate phrases, using appropriate expressions within the context of the OET, using professional language, but not using language which is overly technical, which would confuse the patient or the carer who you are communicating with. So as I'm sure you're aware, the speaking test for OET is always a role play, and you will always be playing the medical professional. If you are a doctor, for example, then you will be the doctor in the role play. If you are a nurse, then you'll be playing the nurse, and you'll be communicating with someone who is either a patient or carer or other stakeholder in relation to a patient who has required medical treatment. So the linguistic criteria, to just give a little bit more detail on each one. Intelligibility, you can see, focuses on your pronunciation. So this is to do with essentially the accuracy of your pronunciation, pronouncing vowel sounds correctly, for example, pronouncing getting the stress correct in individual words and phrases. So if you were going to give someone an examination, you'd have to get the stress on nation, not examination, which would be an incorrect stress. Intonation is also important as well. So a lot of the OET speaking is about being able to show empathy and build rapport with the patient. So using intonation is an important element of this. So being able to indicate with your voice that you are showing that you understand the patient's perspective and that you are invested in the patient's care is going to come into the communication criteria, which we'll look at in just a moment. But it is also part of the linguistic criteria, because it's an element of intelligibility and intonation, and using intonation to communicate a clear message. Fluency is to do with the speed of your speech. It should be not too fast, not too slow. It should be naturally paced. Sometimes candidates go into the exam, they feel very nervous, they start speaking too quickly. And of course, the issue with that is that the examiner will not be able to follow what you're saying particularly easily if you speak too quickly. So you want to maintain an even pace in your speech and avoid going too quickly or too slowly. You also want to avoid unnatural pausing. So you will have time before the role play to prepare, to look at the role play card, and to generate ideas in terms of who you are, what your role is in the case, and what you need to do. So you need to make sure you use that time wisely, so that when the role play begins, you're not pausing, trying to search for, okay, who am I? What do I need to do? What's next? Make sure you prepare yourself well before the role play begins, and then you won't have to pause unnaturally during it. Appropriateness of language, as I said, making sure that you use language which is professional. So you greet the patient appropriately, you provide information to the patient appropriately, don't use judgmental language, and don't use overly technical language which would confuse or make the patient feel uncomfortable. And finally, resources of grammar and expression. These relate to your ability to use grammar and vocabulary accurately within the context of the role play. So yeah, not making mistakes with things like tenses or prepositions, or particular word choice errors. That's where your vocabulary and grammar is going to be assessed. So those are the linguistic criteria, and they form only one part of the criteria for OET speaking. You also have the clinical communication criteria. So here there are 5 criteria that you have to be aware of, and we can see them on the screen. Relationship building, understanding and incorporating the patient's perspective, providing structure, information gathering, and information giving. So I'll start with the last 2, because these are the ones which you want to be bearing in mind at the beginning of the role play. So it's always a good idea at the beginning of the role play to look at this 4th criteria here, information gathering. This is the opportunity at the beginning to get information about the patient. You can do this by asking appropriate open and closed questions. Open questions are good because they allow the patient to explore their situation, and they allow you to gather more information from that. And the information that you gather at the beginning of the role play, you can then use to help make what you are providing to the patient in terms of information and guidance more relevant. If you know what the patient's concerns are, then obviously you can address those concerns more successfully. So information gathering is about, were you able to ask appropriate questions in order to gather relevant information about the patient? And then, of course, information giving can follow from that. So you've gathered the information from the patient, you know what their concerns are, you know what their particular issues are, and so now you can give relevant information to them. So these 2 criteria are very closely linked in that respect. The more useful information you gather, the more useful information you'll be able to give. Of course, you need to make sure that the information you give is understood by the patient, and that they are able to follow your advice or the information that you provide them. And this relates to providing structure, which we can see as the 3rd criteria here. And part of making sure that they are able to understand what you're saying is that you provide a clear structure to them. So you can do this by using sequencing language, such as firstly, after that, once that has been completed. Using these sorts of sequencing devices allows you to provide structure to what you're saying, and makes it easier for the patient or the caregiver to follow the information that you're providing. So you can see the links between the criteria here. Information gathering is linked to information giving, because if you gather useful information, you can give useful information. And providing structure is linked to information giving, because you need to make sure the patient understands the information you give. And one of the best ways of doing that is providing a clear structure to that information. Then we have these other 2 criteria, and these relate to showing empathy, and basically being able to demonstrate that you are someone who cares about the patient and you are supportive of the patient. So if we have a look at relationship building to begin with, this is relevant to how you start the conversation. And also it links to information gathering, because one of the ways you build a relationship is to encourage the patient to feel comfortable providing you with information. And by asking non-judgmental, open questions, that will allow the patient to feel more comfortable in your presence, and will help you to build a relationship with them. This is where you need to be showing as well that you're listening to the patient when they do give you information. So little reactions, what are called back channeling reactions when they speak, are important. So really, right, oh, okay. Just showing that you're listening, and also expressions to show that you are empathizing with the patient, and that links us to understanding and incorporating. So you can see here, this is about how the patient is responded to. So expressions like, that must be difficult, or I can understand that, or I can see why that would be difficult for you. These sorts of expressions show that you are listening to the patient, and that you are trying to provide them with comfort during the interaction. So the the criteria are all linked. If you are showing empathy, if you are showing that you're actively listening to the patient by providing those sorts of reactions, such as, right, I understand. Yes, of course, that must be difficult. If you're asking open questions and you're providing structure to your responses, then you're covering all of these criteria. And that's the key, really, is to make sure that your general approach to the role play is such where the patient feels comfortable, listened to, fully informed, and is not confused by the information that you are providing. So that was an overview then of the criteria, and if you do those things correctly, then you will score very highly in the OET exam. So, assessment questions then, and these are the questions which I want you to ask yourself as we do the practice role plays in this session. With the linguistic criteria, you can see we have 5 questions there about this. So the first one, did the speaker speak clearly, and was he or she easy to understand? Did they vary their pronunciation and use intonation relevantly? Did the speaker speak fluently and smoothly with few hesitations and false starts? Did the speaker use appropriate language and tone? And did they use relevant and correct vocabulary and grammatical structures? So those are the questions to ask in terms of whether the speaker did well in terms of the in terms of the linguistic criteria. When looking at the clinical communication criteria, we've got 4 questions here. So did the speaker speak in a way that offered empathy and support? So we looked at that, didn't we? Like, really, that must be difficult. Those sorts of reactions. Did they listen to the patient and respond effectively and appropriately? So was what the medical practitioner said relevant to the question that the patient asked or the concern that the patient raised? Was the delivery of information structured appropriately? Remember looking at some of those sequencing phrases that we could use. And was the patient satisfied with your delivery of information? So does the patient demonstrate that they understood or that they accepted the information that they were given? So you've got to be able to pick up on those cues and to judge whether the information has been communicated successfully based on the patient's reaction to the information you give them. So we're going to start with the role plays now, and I'm going to provide the information to bring students into the class. So look out for that. We do try to give new students an opportunity to participate wherever possible. So if you have not participated in the class previously, then please let me know, and I'll make you a priority in terms of joining the class. So I'm just sharing the link now. So look out for that. Okay, so the link has now been shared in the chat box. So ensure that if you do wish to participate in today's speaking class, that you have clicked on that link so that you can join live within the class, and that way we can provide you with support and some feedback as well on your speaking. Okay, so I can see Asma wants to practice. So if you click on the link that I've shared in the chat box, Asma, you will be able to do that. You'll be able to join within the class. So ensure that you click on that link, and then you will be able to come directly into the class. Okay, so Alice would like to join as well. So yeah, so I've shared the link. So look out for that as soon as it arrives. There might be a slight delay, but yeah, it's there. So I'm going to share it again, just in case you've not picked up on it the first time. Okay, so the link is, I've shared it within the YouTube group. So if you copy and paste it, then you'll be able to join the class. Okay, just let me know as soon as you've been able to access that link, because then, as I say, obviously I can then begin the practice. Okay, so we should be able to see that now within the OET groups. Okay. So, have we been able to access this link? No? Okay, so you'll be able to see it. So next to AT Lindsay, you'll be able to see the link that I've shared in the chat. So look out for AT Lindsay. You'll see a link next to the name, and then you can click on that in order to join the class directly. Okay, so make sure you're looking in the chat. In the chat box, scroll up, scroll down, and you should be able to see it. I don't know why nobody can see it. Okay, so I'm just in the YouTube group at the moment. I'm sharing it again, so this is the third time that I'm sharing it. As I say, I'm not sure why that's not come up. Okay, so someone has been able to access the link. Thankfully, we've got Rom who has been able to access the link, so I'm going to bring Rom into the class now. Great, we've got a few people, Hazel as well. Okay, so these are always some technical difficulties that can happen, but fortunately we've been able to resolve them. Hello there, Rom. How are you?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah, loud and clear.
I'm sorry. Can you give me like 2 seconds? Let me just prepare myself. Just
Okay,
two
that's fine.
seconds. Okay, sorry.
No worries. Okay, so we've got Rom here who's just preparing himself, and we're going to start doing our practice speaking. So in relation to this is, as I said, an opportunity obviously to get feedback on your speaking, and also it's an opportunity for you to see the sort of feedback that will be provided on the linguistic and clinical communication criteria. So stay tuned, and please also give your own feedback if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube. Okay, Rom.
Sir, sorry, I got some technical issue. Can you go next? I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay, you're struggling. All right, that's
Yeah.
fine. Let me bring in Mahesh in that case. Hi there, Mahesh. Are you there? Hello, Mahesh. Okay, so Mahesh has joined the class, but doesn't seem to be responding, unfortunately. Okay, let me bring Besu into the class. Hi there, Besu. Are you there?
Yeah,
Okay, wonderful. So Besu, where are you at the moment? Which country are you currently in?
Egypt.
Egypt. Okay,
Uh,
that's quite different. And tell me, Besu, are you a doctor or a nurse?
Doctor.
Okay, great. So, how long were you born in Egypt?
Yeah,
Okay, and which part of Egypt do you live in?
Cairo.
Okay, tell me, what would you say are the best aspect of living in Cairo?
Um, Ancient history.
Okay, yeah,
This is the best part I see.
that's the best thing, the history of the city. Okay, so obviously you work as a doctor. How long have you been working as a doctor for?
I am a house officer. I have been working for 1 year.
Okay, And what would you say is the best part of working as a doctor?
Helping patient and improve the quality of their health.
Okay. Okay. And would you say that in general, working as a doctor in Egypt is a rewarding job?
Actually, no.
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 Why
In
not?
Egypt, the salaries
Okay. That can be one of the issues. So what are your ambitions in the future?
uh, to travel to UK and
Okay.
to fulfill the criteria of GMC registration. Inshallah.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful, Besu. Okay, then. So I'm going to share the role play card that we're going to be looking at today for medicine. And as you will have in the exam, you'll have 3 minutes to prepare your response to this role play. So here is the role play. So make sure that you take the 3 minutes here, Besu, to read the card carefully, so that you know who you are, what your role is, and what you will need to do in the role play. Okay. Okay, so Besu's got 3 minutes to read the role play card and prepare. The role play will last for 5 minutes. So all of those who are watching live, please do ensure that you also are reading the role play card. Think about how you would respond to this role play if you're a doctor. How would you approach it? How would you begin the conversation? How would you show that you are following all of the linguistic and clinical communication criteria? How would you provide structure to the role play? These are the things to think about. And I would advise making some notes in terms of how you would approach this role play. And then once Besu has completed the role play and we've done the practice together, then please do share your feedback in terms of what you thought Besu did successfully in the role play, and also what you thought perhaps he could have improved on as well. Okay. So that is 3 minutes. Besu, are you there?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay then. So if you would like to begin the interaction.
Let's start.
Yeah. Okay. Let's begin.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing? How are you doing so far?
How am I doing so far? Yeah. Well, I'm surviving.
As I understand, your child have diagnosed with viral gastroenteritis. Is that right?
Well, to be honest, I don't really understand. I mean, obviously, he's been in real problems. I've been
Mm-hmm.
told, yeah. So you said it was viral gastroenteritis, but I don't really understand what that is.
I really appreciate your words, and I see it is difficult for you to experience such a condition with your child. But let me explain to you what is viral gastroenteritis.
Mm.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah, yeah, because I'd like to know, obviously, what's happened to my son and how I can look after him.
Well, gastroenteritis is a condition caused by viral infection that causes irritation to the stomach lining and causes some of symptoms that your child have experienced, that such as vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach pain. Is that clear?
So you're saying so he got this virus, but how did he get it? How did he get the virus?
All right, this is a good point to mention. There are several measures and there are several ways that the virus come and infect your child, such as direct contact with vomits and infected or direct contact with infected persons, such as shaking a hand or contamination of food or something like that. Are you okay with that?
Okay, so he would have got it from someone else. So in that case, is it infectious then? Can he pass it on to other people?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, right. So should we? I don't know. Does he have to? Do we have to keep him on his own or what?
The treatment plan of your child have been discussed with the staff, and they are oral rehydration fluid was given to him, and he is okay to be discharged now. Is that okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the question I asked though is whether we should keep him on his own because if he's infectious, then it could pass on to other people, couldn't it? And also, as well, I think he does look very weak. So I prefer for him to stay in hospital until he starts to look a bit stronger. I think that would be the best place for him.
I see, and I appreciate your words completely. But regarding your first question about keeping him alone, your his health is our priority, and also your health is our priority, and he won't be discharged until he is not becoming infected. Is that clear?
So so what are you saying then? Is he infectious or not? Or
Under proper management and he is under proper management at our hospital. He doesn't become any more infectious.
okay, okay. So in that case, I mean, I'm just a bit worried, about being able to look after him at home. I'm worried that he won't improve. I just think he's made improvement at hospital, so he should stay at hospital to continue improving.
I appreciate your words and I understand you completely, but let me explain to you that oral hydration fluid that we have given to him is enough for his condition, and his condition now is stable, and there is no need for him to stay in hospital. As I mentioned, his health is our priority, but there is no need to stay in hospital, and his condition, fortunately, and become stable.
Right. Okay. Fine.
I'm happy to hear that, and let me discuss some issues about his future management plan in home. Is
Okay.
that okay for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to commence clear fluids of him, such as foods and also electrolyte hydration preparation, such as gastrolyte. Is that okay for you?
Sorry. What is gastrolite? I don't know what that is.
Uh, a good point to mention. Gastrolyte is a type of preparation that contain electrolytes that help him to get and to improve his outcome and to get better soon.
Okay.
Well, and also I will mention a list of red flags that if happen, you should seek medical advice immediately. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There are several red flags and signs of dehydration, such as extreme thirst, lethargy, irritability, also sunken eye. Are you following?
Yeah. Okay. So if he shows any of those signs, then I need to take him back to hospital.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I hope I have cleared up your words.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I just hope he doesn't get ill again.
I hope he get. I hope him a speedy recovery.
Okay. Okay, great. So we'll stop there then. Besu, thank you very much for participating and getting involved today. So yeah, any comments here in terms of a bit of feedback for Besu? Let's see. So Jayshree is saying here that the mother doesn't seem satisfied throughout the conversation. Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, if you've got a caregiver in this situation, then obviously it could be difficult to make them feel satisfied and to address their concerns. I thought Besu did a good job, though, in trying to do that, and obviously was quite insistent that the child had recovered. And that it was time for the child to be taken home. So that was communicated quite clearly. There was a little bit of uncertainty and confusion over whether the child was infectious or not, which could have been clarified a bit earlier. So just making it clear, look, the child is now safe to be taken home. He is recovering, and the home is now the best place for him. That's where he can have the best emotional environment, and that's where he's going to have the best emotional support. So this could have been clarified a little bit earlier, but yeah, generally good information was provided in terms of saying, look, it's time for the child to go home now, for the boy to go home. And you'll be able to provide him with the best environment emotionally for him to recover now that he's over the worst of the illness. There was good empathy which was shown throughout the interaction as well. Saying, look, I understand how you feel, I understand the situation. Yeah, expressions we use, not always completely natural, such as I appreciate your words completely. So a more natural expression might have been, I can appreciate what you're saying, absolutely. But certainly the intention to build up a relationship and to show empathy was communicated. There were some errors in grammar which occurred. So the child have experienced rather than the child has experienced. The plan have been discussed rather than the plan has been discussed. So these were some errors which occurred in terms of verb form. So using the plural form rather than using the singular form of the verb. So that would be something to look at in terms of resources in grammar and expression. I think also there was an opportunity, because quite a lot of information was communicated, there's an opportunity to just provide a summary at the end of the interaction, just to show that the patient had followed, or in this case, the caregiver, the parent, had followed the information clearly, and just to help provide that structure. Remember, that was something that I spoke about earlier in the session, providing structure. And sort of providing a summary can allow you to do that. So just to quickly summarize there then, first of all, please ensure that you do provide, I just want to say that the patient has now recovered. Secondly, to continue with that recovery, you need to make sure that your son has enough hydration throughout the day. And rather than starting with electrolyte and gastrolyte, it would have been better to use more common terminology and some of the more common remedies, such as the clear fluids, so watered down unsweetened fruit juice, which obviously everyone will be able to follow. That would be a bit clearer rather than starting with the information that might be more confusing. Just a final point as well is that in the final task, we can see on the screen, you want to convince the patient it's safe to take your son home, and advise when to seek advice. And then some examples were given. If you can paraphrase here, rather than just repeat the words on the roll card, you'll get more credit within the OET. So yeah, paraphrasing. So instead of saying, for example, if you have signs of severe dehydration, you could say, so if your son becomes severely dehydrated, for example, if he becomes very thirsty or very tired or is irritable. So you can see there's the paraphrasing of the words. So you're communicating the same information, but you're using your own words to do it. Okay, but thanks again to Besu, and well done. And what we will look at now is a nurse role play. So if you are a nurse in the class, then please let me know. Just let me know. Send me a comment in the chat, and I will bring you in next so that we can do some practice there. Just before we do, allow me to remind you once again of the OET Masterclass opportunity, which we have available. And this is a great opportunity to sign up. It's for free, so that we can provide you with extra support in relation to passing the OET. We can provide expert tips, methods, and advice so that you can pass your exam as quickly as possible. And I'll share the link in the chat box there so that you can take advantage of that opportunity that is being offered. Okay, so yeah, if you are a nurse, do let me know. A number of you now have joined the class, so thankfully you have been able to do that. So if you are currently in the class, which is, I'm afraid we do have a full class at the moment, then let me know. So who have we got just here? So I can see, Rom, are you a nurse? Just let me know if you are. Just saying that you're ready, just let me know if you're a nurse. So Mahesh is a nurse. Is Mahesh in the class at the moment? Lugioma is a nurse as well. It's got her exam coming. Okay, so Mahesh, I'll bring you in. You've got your exam coming up very soon. How are you today, Mahesh?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Good. Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I'm doing well. So you can keep your camera on there, Mahesh. Sorry, just switching the view there. So where are you at the moment?
Sure, sir.
Sorry, say that again.
India.
You're from India. Okay. And how long have you been working in nursing for, Mahesh?
I've been working for past 3 years.
Okay. And tell me, what are your ambitions for the future? Your career ambitions.
My future ambitions, I want to work in European countries. Yeah. I have to work in European countries. That's the main ambition till now.
And why Europe?
Hello?
Did you say you wanted to work in Europe, Mahesh?
Yeah, European countries.
European countries, yeah. Why? Why would you like to work in a European country?
Maybe the setup, the healthcare setups are good in these countries when compared to India.
Okay, great. So let's have a look at the role play card then today, Mahesh.
Sure.
We can see that we have the information on the screen just here. So can you see that clearly, Mahesh?
Yeah, sir.
Brilliant.
It's
Okay.
patient.
Fantastic. So you've got 3 minutes then to prepare your response to this role play.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, so again, whilst Mahesh is preparing his response, if you are a nurse, this is an opportunity for you as well to make some notes and to plan how you would prepare in this role play. What would you focus on? How would you complete the tasks? How would you show empathy, etc.? So have a look carefully at the role card, see which tasks need to be completed, what your role is, and what language you would use in order to complete this role play if you were to be doing it. Okay, so Mahesh, are you ready to begin?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Wonderful. Okay, so if you would like to begin the role play.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I have been referred by your GP to make sure your health status. Is that the right time to talk about this?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Before that, how may I address you?
My name's Alex.
Yeah, Mr. Alex, I gone through your case notes, which was given by your GP, and that you have been suffering from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Is that right?
What that I've been suffering from it.
Yeah, and also you are in the continuous oxygen in the home itself. I think is the correct, no?
No, it's my wife who has the disease.
Oh, your wife is having the details. For the confirmation
Mhm.
purpose, your wife name, please.
Sorry, can you just, you're a little bit difficult to hear, Mahesh. Can you increase your volume a little bit? Is that just on your microphone?
Uh, is that be audible, sir?
Still a little bit quiet. Can you move it closer to your mouth just to make it a bit louder? I don't know what you're using.
Just a minute, sir.
Okay. Okay, so hopefully Mahesh will be back with us very soon. Just to, yeah, because obviously communication is very important for the speaking. So if we can't hear clearly what someone is
Hello.
saying, that's an issue. Okay, that's much better. Okay, let's start again. Let's start again, Mahesh, because I couldn't hear you clearly before.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me, Mahesh?
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me? No.
Hello.
Can you? Hello,
Hello.
Mahesh, can you hear me? Okay, so it looks like we're having some technical issues here. Can you hear me, Mahesh? No? Okay. I think we're going to have to try with someone else, Mahesh, I'm afraid, just because, yeah, it does seem like there are some network issues. Okay, I'm with Rom. I'm going to bring you. Are you a nurse, Rom? Bring him back in.
Yes, sir. I am a nurse.
You are? Okay. Brilliant. So, Rom, are you ready to get going with this? Did you take the time before to prepare your ideas?
Can you give me at least 1 minute to, scan it a little bit more?
That's fine. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Rom, just let me know when you're ready to begin.
Okay. Give me like 10 seconds more.
No problem.
I think I'm okay, sir.
Brilliant. Okay, so if you'd like to begin the role play.
Can we start now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Hello, sir. My name is Rom, and I'm your community nurse for today. How may I help you, sir? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I assume you're here about my wife, is that right?
Exactly, sir. I came here for to pay a home visit for your wife. Right now she's suffering from chronic pulmonary disease. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. But before I start to our conversation, may I know your name, sir, please?
Yeah, certainly. My name's Alex.
Sir Alex. Can I call you Alex?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sir. As per our record, your spouse, we've seen here that for the last 2 years, your spouse has been suffering for chronic pulmonary disease. And
Mhm.
we've seen that you have been taking care of her for the past 2 years. Am I getting it right?
That is correct. I do have to say though that recently I've had to go back to work, so I'm balancing being a carer and working full time. Um, so it's been a bit of a struggle.
Yes, I understand that this must have been very difficult for you taking care of your husband and still working
My
full
wife.
for your wife, I'm sorry, and still working. And we understand that this takes a lot of work for you, and doing such will not address everything that your wives need. Um, just want to let you know that we are doing everything that we can to
Mm,
attend your needs. And I understand also that upon our assessment, your husband, your wife has been needing of constant monitoring and around the clock
yeah,
assistance. Yes.
yeah, that's right. I mean, I've put a fridge and a microwave in a bedroom. I leave meals out every day, but I'm just, I'm worried. She's on her own a lot because I'm when I'm at work, and I'm just worried that she's not got enough support.
Right, right. I understand about that, and thank you for that information, sir. Um, as far as our agency, we can provide for you an option, okay, to give you to refer you to a nursing home. So at least to elevate the things it can cost. These things can help you uh, lesser the responsibility that you have for your wife. And these are the options that we can give you for the meantime, sir.
Mm.
Well, is that okay for you?
Yeah, I mean, I can accept that, she needs more support than I can provide her on my own at the moment, and I hoped it wouldn't be so soon because I don't really know on a personal level what I'm going to do.
I understand that this concerns you a lot, but
Mm.
to give you an explanation about this, if you would let me, nursing homes can actually help to improve your husband's condition. They in the nursing home, they can provide for your husband the proper care, and they can also attend everything that your husband needs, may it be medical, may it be for care, when he needs to take a bath, and all of these things that concerns the taking care of your wife, sir.
Um, I can see that that would be a good option, but the problem is I can't imagine that my wife would agree to it. I don't think she wants to be in a nursing home.
I understand, sir. Um, to give you an information about that, we have a list of requirements, list of options also for you to have. Like you can also have an option to speak with other residences regarding their experiences with nursing homes. And also, it's also good for you to know how people are being taken care of in nursing homes, sir. Um, if you will allow me to suggest for you some local nursing homes that are near to your place, if you can consider that, sir.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can certainly discuss it with her, but I wouldn't know which nursing home to choose.
Yes, sir. That we will provide for you, sir. If you decide to continue with the nursing home, we can provide that for you, and you don't have to worry about it. And the rest will be taken care of. We can refer you also to special nursing care homes for your wife. Will that be okay for you, sir?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can discuss it with her.
Okay. Is there anything I can address more for you?
So we'll just stop it there, Ron, just because we've run out of time
Thank you.
on the 5 minutes. But yeah, no, thank you very much. So there was quite a lot to cover in that one there, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Quite a lot to
it
get
is.
through.
Right.
But I thought you did well in terms of addressing all the different elements of the task. Showing good empathy as well throughout. You showed that it was obviously a difficult situation. That's what you said. It must have been very difficult for you. So that was good in terms of showing empathy and showing that you appreciated the perspective of the caregiver. Also, when it came to the nursing home, you were very sensitive in how you suggested it as well. But just in terms of the tasks, if we have a look at them, there were two tasks which maybe could have been dealt with a little bit more clearly. So one was outlining the options, explore the option of giving up work again. So there were two options. One was to go into for the wife to go into a care home. The other was, okay, maybe if you stop working. And that wasn't really articulated clearly in the role play.
Right.
And then just the final one as well, you said, in terms of advice, so you said, look, we can take care of all of that, but there are some pointers there. So you said that, making a list of what your requirements are. It's always good to actually visit the nursing homes in person, to have conversations with the people that work there, to see which place you think would be most appropriate. And obviously, bring your wife with you so she has some input on this as well. She's the one that's going to live there. Yeah, so I just thought those tasks could have been communicated a bit more clearly, but the other ones I thought you dealt with successfully. Just be careful. No worries, but just be careful about husbands. You kept saying that.
Yeah. I'm in third. I got confused between looking at your face and looking at the role play card. Thank you, sir.
So you had that in your head.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, just be careful, obviously, on the day. I mean, it is possible that I could have a husband, but I did make it clear that it was my wife earlier on. So yeah, just be aware of that. But yeah, your intonation was really good, and also your intelligibility, pronunciation was very clear throughout as well. Yeah, Jayshree picked up on the gender confusion. Yeah, I thought generally your resources of grammar and expression were strong too. Just a few little slips in terms of language. So you said, at one point you said the residences. So you talked about the residences at the care home, but it would be better to say residence, because a residence is a place. They sound quite similar. A residence is a place. So if you say the residences, you're talking about the places, but residents, you're talking about the people in the actual care home. And you're said to give you an information, but information's uncountable, so it should be to give you some information.
True.
So yeah, just a couple of slips there. And also you talked about to lesser the responsibility, but the verb actually is to lessen the responsibility.
Right, sir. I actually have some difficulties in that, really. Yeah, I have some trouble with that, so I'm working on it, sir.
Okay, good. And just a final point there, Rom. Right at the beginning, you said, "How can I help you?" But this is a home visit. So the better thing to say would be, would it be okay if I come in? Is that okay? Is this a good time to talk? That would be a more appropriate way to begin in the context of a home visit. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, lots of really strong stuff there, really clear, and you did deal with some of those tasks well. Just ensure that all the tasks are covered as best as you can within the time available.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you there, Rom. Okay, so apologies for those who wanted to come in today that I wasn't able to bring in, but I hope that you still were able to pick up on some useful information from the feedback. Thank you for those who gave feedback as well. Lots of positive feedback here. So good introduction, says Alice and Bells and Dorothy. They all like the introduction, and there was also some comments here from Rosemary. Great empathy and care, clearly spoken English, sympathetic styles throughout, thoughtful, very good phrases. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, Rosemary. Christy, perhaps could use another term aside from I understand. Yeah, so I understand, or sure, or of course. Those are some other phrases that could be used as well. Okay, so thank you very much for that feedback. We have overrun very slightly at the moment just because of some of the technical issues we experienced earlier in the class. But please, I would like to let you know of what we're going to be looking at next week. It's going to be a guide to Part A OET reading, and that will be next Friday at 9 a.m. So Friday the 16th of April. Please join us for that class where we'll be providing important tips and information on this section of the OET test. So I'm just going to make you aware again of the OET Masterclass. I'm going to share the link for that as well. This is a free opportunity which we are providing where you will be able to find out more in terms of tips, advice and guidance in terms of passing the OET exam as quickly as possible. And if you would like to find out more about this opportunity, then click on the link in the chat box and you will be able to find out more about this. So I can just see we've got some questions here. One is, what's the meaning of round-the-clock care? So round-the-clock care is care that you provide 24 hours a day. That's what it means. So literally round the clock. Someone is there all of the time. So whenever the patient has any needs or any difficulties, then they will be provided with support. Okay. So I've shared the links for the classes. So as I say, please do have a look at this opportunity if it's something that you've not taken advantage of already. All it remains for me to say now is thank you very much for your participation today. And I look forward to you participating in future classes. Scott will be back, I believe, for the class on OET reading. So it's a great opportunity and please do get involved. So take care and see you again soon.